I'm Deep Mahaman and you're watching the Redmen TV.
It's too up top, the right thing to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's that it still comes down to it though, doesn't it? That what we said is we've yet to figure out, or we've yet to see quite how we interact with our centre forward on the pitch, you know. And I think, and it's funny because like what I said, as you said when I was watching it, I'm so happy for that Benteke scored a couple of goals because it's taken all the pressure off him. You know what I mean? We're not going, oh, we don't know how to play to him and he's not scoring goals. Yeah. But like I actually think, weirdly, of the three centre forwards who've figured for Liverpool so far this season, Danny Ings has actually looked the most exciting of the lot of them. Somehow.
He's linked up better with the other players. Like, you know, Benteke's obviously scored a worldie against Man United, but it's nothing to do with how we're playing football, is it? You know, Danny Ings has had a chance every time he's got on the field. Yeah. And that's something that you can't say about Benteke, because there was the game against West Ham where he had fuck all. Yeah. You know what I mean? So Danny Ings, I don't know whether maybe he's a little bit more mobile than Christian Benteke. Maybe just gets it. I don't know whether he just gets in and around the midfielders a little bit more, because probably playing for Burnley, and I don't know this, so correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but he probably had to a little bit more, whereas Benteke for Villa was the focal point.
Yeah. No, I honestly can't say I've watched enough Burnley to be able to say one way or the other, but it's clear in terms of I hope to see a bit more of that from Origi, but I guess he looks Sturridge in the. I think, and by that I mean Daniel Sturridge can go all over the pitch, but he doesn't do it he doesn't do it like Suarez did it. Mm-hmm. I think Ings does it more along those lines. He does a lot of pressing. He runs down a lot of like
blind alleys.
Yeah, blind alleys in the worst case scenario. But I guess like he does a lot of the hard running, doesn't he? You know what I mean? He does the presses that you know are going to come to nothing, but you have to do them anyway. And he doesn't seem to bat an eyelid at doing them. Like whereas Origi kind of looks like he's got that like quality of I'm a centre forward, get the ball to me in and around. Yeah, I mean he does run the channels, and he did that well enough, I guess. Like, but somehow Ings just looks more action packed with Danny Ings, I guess. Like
I think he just looks more ready as well. You know, Danny Ings.
That touch that when he flicks it back inside, and I mean the finish isn't quite there, but it's another example of exactly the same as the one he had at the weekend where he chested it through over the top. It feels you're right. It feels like it's coming though, doesn't it? It does feel like he should be in the Liverpool team.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think that's spot on. I think at the moment he should be in the Liverpool team, and to be fair to him, he should be one of the first names on the team sheet after his 3 substitute appearances, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm happy with him as a signing so far, and you know there's lots of people on YouTube especially taking the piss out of Liverpool for signing Danny Ings. I'm happy with that signing. Yeah. That's not one that you should be taking the piss out of, in fairness.
Well, I look at it, and just the option it gives you, I've got absolutely no problem with this. I didn't really have any great deal of problem with it, I guess, and particularly, as I say, because Benteke's scored a couple of goals, it takes the pressure off it all. I think to some extent.
You know what I mean? I thought at the start of the season, if we can get 10 out of Ings, that's boss. I still think we can get 10 out of Ings this season, and probably a few more. To be honest, he could be pushing 15 by the end of the year if Sturridge is out.
I think it's just that. We'll talk more about Ings and his involvement, obviously, when we do the Norwich build-up. But it's still that the question mark over him still remains of that. What he needs that goal, doesn't he? Yeah. And he's come close again.
I think if Adam Lallana hadn't scored with the exact same finish Ings attempted, the keeper doesn't save that.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, that's what I thought of. But yeah, on that, I was going to come to it later, but you mentioned it. We might as well talk about it now. Lallana, I mean that's a great goal.
It is, and it's fucking so skillful. Like he dinks it through his legs, doesn't he? And then you know it's going bottom left. The keeper's bottom left. Yeah. The keeper knows it's going his bottom left and can't do anything about it. That's the mark of a great finish.
Yeah, it's true.
It's Henry-esque in that regard. Henry used to do that so many times. Just pick his corner, open the body, and in it goes.
What's funny about Lallana, and I caught a little glimpse of Twitter.
The Nivea of it.
That's pretty funny. But what's the thing about Lallana, and I say I've a brief look at Twitter before. It's the people who are like, he's still shit, or I said he was, just like trying to qualify the fact that just because he scored that goal doesn't mean he's good. Lallana's a fucking good player, and I know he's not. He didn't start the season particularly well. He hasn't looked great. I think people forget sometimes that you know, we have to compete on a number of fronts. And just because a guy's not looked brilliant in 2 or 3 games, I'm sick of this, like, we're right, he's the new, like, scapegoating half decent player. We've got far worse players, and I have had far worse players in recent years than Adam Lallana. He will score goals for Liverpool this season.
He will. He's a skillful player. He's very good when defences are being compact, and especially when there's 2 banks of 4 or something. He finds those tiny little pockets of space, and he's got this mad turn that he does all the time.
The
Lallana turn, no less. That he does.
What a coincidence!
I know
that it would be named
the Lallana.
The Lallana turn after it was almost fated. Yeah. Anyway,
oh man, it's weird, like. But no, I'm kidding. Like, but he's really good in that respect, and you know. The problem that people have with Lallana, I think, is his pace.
Yeah,
it's definitely a worry for me.
Yeah.
But it's not fucking up there in our squad deficiencies. Lallana's pace isn't fucking keeping me awake at night. Do you know what I mean?
It's the thing about
the fucking fact that we've got no players under the age of.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's yeah. No Scouts players aged between 22 and 32. The thing about Lallana, and it's typified by that goal. If you get him the ball in and around the 18-yard box, he will cause a threat. But if you're asking him to run onto balls over the top, he's never gonna cause a threat. If he's in a foot race with people, he's not gonna do this. But
do you think it's the FIFA thing as well?
In what regard?
He's got no pace.